Hello Marvel Heroes fans, today is a video on Loki. It is a video request, also something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Now why should you play Loki? I would say, well, I mean, Loki really needs some review and some work to be done on making him or her powerful depending on which costume you are using. But because of the recent Cosmic Patrol, Loki is one of the few heroes that is doing really well inside Cosmic Patrol without too much work, meaning that as a summoner, Loki can take care of, like, single boss environment, no problem. Even when there's a boss wave and so on, it's quite comfortable in some sense. So although the power in terms of the damage output is average, unless you really go into extreme gearing when it comes to all these, like, if you have Man-Ape gear, you have Sinister gear, Doctor Doom gear, even the Hood's Nishanti boot to cover all four of the unique, of course you're sorted. But not all of us have that kind of luxury. So I mean, his kill time or her kill time is kind of average. Having said that, I mean, it is really fun hero to play. Just one hotbar and you can take care of everything, including crowd control breaker as well as the toggle as well. So just one single toolbar, very beautiful. I've spent a lot of time figuring out what to do with Loki, and I think for this video, first time in my channel, I'll show you behind the scene how I use some of these numbers on a spreadsheet to help me decide how to squeeze the most out from the build itself, because it is going to be very tight for Loki. The design is really old. There are many things you can do, and by default he or she is not really that great. So you would like to be able to squeeze out everything you can while still making the whole gameplay playable. All right, so I'm going to do all this, and as always, I'm going to read out some of the stats to you, just to share, put some context in where I am with Loki, and I'll show you some of the gameplay as well with the Cosmic Terminal, and then later on show you some spreadsheet, show you some build Omega system, the usual stuff. All right. Now, when it comes to Loki, I managed to get the crit up to about 49%, and the brutal is only about 37% because I spent quite a lot on the summon ally damage. So it is not really great, but I'm actually inspired by Iceman's gearing to actually change the way I gear summoner, not just paying too much attention on the summoner itself, the pets themselves, but also on the hero as well. Crit damage rating with the costume about 250%, brutal is only about 430%. Those are pretty low range. The flat damage with all the unaware, with all the other props from the gear is only around 183% above normal. So it's total 283%, also pretty low. I think compared to Iceman is short of 100%, but compared to like Squirrel Girl or Rocket Raccoon is around there. So I would say summoner are not good DPS unless you go for extreme gear, like I mentioned about earlier on. Summon ally damage is about 418% once I get all the procs comes in, which is pretty decent. So without further ado, I'll show you Loki in Cosmic Terminal. All right. Alright, this is Loki versus Cosmic Curse, and as you will see soon, Loki actually is pretty relaxing when it comes to Cosmic Terminal. May not kill fast, but it is really relaxing. So the first thing to do as Loki, just make sure that you get all the illusion up, 6 of them, and you can do a lot of things. You can explode all the illusion to give you a big damage, and sometimes I artificially take some damage because I need to use the mag key to replenish my my spirit. But other than that, I mean, it's really nice and easy. There's no moment that is scary at all in this terminal. All right. So another thing you notice is that all this frostbite there is called perma frostbite. It is there for a reason. It's actually there for many good reasons. All right, we just get this out first. The first of all is that it chills the target. It doesn't do a lot of DPS at all, but it chills the target. And when I hit a chill target, I actually have my the vulnerability is being applied that way. So that is one really good reason why you should consider using the frost because it does an area damage as well. So instead of like debuffing one by one, you can actually do like area of debuff on invulnerable as well. So it is very nice. So I mean, you look at Loki, it doesn't really have many moments when it comes to this cosmic curse. So now that's one. Another thing important when I talk about the chill target is that when I hit a chill target, I gain something called power as well for 5 seconds. And that is also very useful when it comes to solo with Loki, because that is a pretty nice team up to be. And sometimes I purposely have to take some damage because I need to pop the mech kit. And I personally, I feel it's kind of silly to do that. I feedback to the forum and say, why not we why not allow us to do it, to use mech kit even when the health is full is a conscious decision and so on. Is again breaking and so on. So I don't know. I mean, I personally don't think that we should be restricting when we can use the mech kit, because eventually we will have to do something stupid like standing on fire just to get ourselves damaged to pop the mech kit, right? So it doesn't make sense. Right. Anyway, so yeah, the gameplay is very simple. Do the spike and then illusion, and that's it, right? And if you want to do binding as extra DOT layer, you could, all right? As for this DOT, I mean, there's only 2 DOT layer, damage over time layer to the Loki build. So one is this called Arcane binding. The other one is actually the Enthrall, which is the Confuse. Now, the reason why I picked this one, although the Arcane binding costs more spirit, is that it is a very nice area to it. So it doesn't really, it works really well with my Winter's Breath. My Winter's Breath is actually my single spender. So I just stand there and then I can use a Winter's Breath on the mobs, and it has a very nice front cone as well for Winter's Breath. Just that I need to get a little bit nearer to the target, to the mob. So that is the only thing that is not that ideal when it comes to Winter's Breath. But it has a very nice area, and it works well with the Arcane. If I don't miss, it works well with the Arcane binding as well as a second layer. So yeah, I mean, Loki is really straightforward when it comes to playing all these things. So now I need to take some damage so that I can pop my mech kit, because I'm closer to a boss fight. So when it comes to boss fight, the first thing to do is that you do a permafrost spike to debuff the boss, and then you hit the boss with the power, which is usually I use the illusionary projection. That the more illusion you have, the bigger the damage, but the spirit cost is really high. I mean, that's why I have Winter's Breath as the sustained cost to it. And then after you've done with your projection, you pop your signature, and then you explode because signature has a damage rating buff to it. So and then after that you pop all your illusion into Arcane Ruin, creating a moderate explosion while having a spirit return. And after that, you apply the Arcane binding to keep the damage over time on, and then you keep the pressure on the illusion as well. Just spawn the illusion, Winter's Breath. So I know it sounds really a lot, but I'll show you how. So this is what happened. You spike it first, and then after that you pump out all this illusion, pop the signature, explode the thing, and then after that we apply the binding, and then that's it. Then after that, Winter's Breath on it. Alright, and apply the binding, actually you don't need to apply the frost anymore. Alright, explode all the thing, all the illusion once you are on it. So after that, apply, and that's it, right? So that's it. I mean, it's not a really fast kill time, I would say, but it's quite relaxing I mean, I was quite close to the whole action, but I could have just stayed a little bit further down to do my stuff. I mean, if you pay attention, sometimes you just you hardly take any damage at all when you play Loki. But I just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive on Curse just now. All right. So I'll probably do a few more terminals at the boss side, just to show you how the whole boss fight works. All right. And I will pick Kingpin because it is a good judge on. Because the Kingpin, the little boss who will spawn at a certain interval, is a good judge on how the whole kill time is. All right. Alright, this is Loki versus Cosmic Kingpin. Like I said, just need to spike it up, and after that bring all the illusion to him. Alright, then bind him, then the signature, then the illusion out again, bind it again, then just rinse his breath and hope that he die before I die. So that's it. I mean, usually I use it as a test to my DPS, because if I have to run away from Bull Eye, target, that means that my hero is not killing fast enough. Usually, I mean, there are other heroes that probably do a lot faster than Loki, but I think he's alright. I mean, by and large, if you use Loki to farm Cosmic Terminal, he's fine, and he can teleport quite well, so alright, yeah. So I'm going to head to other mode to just show you a little bit of gameplay, alright? Okay, this is Cosmic MM. Some of you may have watched my video on Loki, but this time around I'm going to just explain a little bit what I do. So what I usually do is just frost it and then pop the signature. Now I'm actually soloing a Manic right now, so bringing all my illusion there, pumping all 6 of them, then after that get out from his sphere, burn out, explode my illusion, then bring the thing back, alright? Then, I mean, okay, so I'm using a health gear, so, kill time is not going to be fantastic, but I'm hoping that while I'm at it, somehow, then then some hero will come and save me from all this mystery of trying to solo Manic, right? So I have to get out, and at some point I have to purposely take some damage, which is a shame, because I actually took some damage there, consciously do it. And then just apply the DOT and the frost it as well. Explode all my illusion. Get out from this one, because I won't be able to survive it. Get out from this one as well, because that one is hard. And then pop signature, and that's it. When you pop the signature, I don't need to use the frost, the permafrost. Right? So I'm very surprised that no one is coming in and save me, and I've like. I do it all by myself. It's crazy, crazy, man. It's like, come on, man. Everybody do Manic. Who's not doing Manic? Really? That's crazy stuff. So apply DOT. Apply. Okay, so there's one guy coming in. This is I believe a Daredevil, or how is in as well. So yeah, there you go. So I mean, Loki's been tanking this guy pretty alright for some time, and I got hit by the sphere and still survived. That shows how how strong it is when it comes to the health gear. All right, so health gear is important because it does allow you to do something like that. Sometimes when you make a mistake, while falling asleep, tanking Manic. All right, and the damage over time is going to sort of like decrease by say 10% or so. But I mean, in a larger scheme of work, if you don't die, that's really much better. All right. So yeah, I thought I'd show you some aspect of Loki in a different environment. So what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about build and so on. All right. Okay, I hope by now you have an idea how Loki plays like, and in this part of the video is talking a little bit about the build, the gear choice, Omega system, and also as promised, I'll show you the spreadsheet behind, or the number crunching behind, let you have a glimpse of my world, and maybe you could also use the same methodology when it comes to working out what's the best for your build, if you're into that sort of thing, it'll be for you. Okay, the first thing I like to talk about is the build I've chosen. The build I've chosen is very much like a hybrid between the different various trees. So, okay, when it comes to Loki Summoner's build, the first thing that you have to understand is that the Summoner does damage, and the damage comes from the basic one, which is kind of, I don't know why they do that, because I'm actually putting a lot of points into my basic, but it is not really, I'm not using this one. And by the way, the basic actually does quite a huge damage if you don't mind the melee range. I mean, it's a good choice. But the illusion stats is the one that, the basic is the one that make the illusion does its work once it's been summoned. But in order to summon the illusion, the 6 of them, there are many ways. You can either do a misdirection, which is a move. So when you teleport, you create one image like this. So it can only happen once in 2 seconds, I think. So you get 2 images, and the image does damage based on the based on the the one that we have identified here, specified here. All right. So that is how the image work, the illusion work. You could also have like an arcane illusion, like a range kind of illusion. So you summon range and then it does its own thing. So or you can, the one that the illusionary projection is the one that I often use to summon the illusion, is that you can just like rush it to that, and it's pretty cool because the more you do this, because it's per illusion, right? So the first time you use it, it's one illusion hit. Then the second time you use it, 2 illusion hit. Then after that, by the time you get the 6th one, you get 6 illusion hits together. So it scale up 6 times. So that is pretty cool. But you know, it's a ramped up. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it stays in 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, right? You could use this one as your main DPS. The DPS is pretty high once you get the 6. But the spirit cost is also pretty high as well. So bear that in mind when you do the work. If you can sustain the kind of spirit, I can't. But if you can, then you know some actually use this one as the main spender. But I find that you can deplete your spirit pretty fast when you do something like that. All right, your choice. Now, meteoric illusion is the one that you know, when you use it, all the illusion will disappear from the from wherever the ground it is, and then it will come down as a meteor, and it, like 6 of them does massive damage. I used that before. It's actually pretty cool when you are in a cosmic patrol environment where you want to do some area damage. The only problem I have is I found that it's a DPS loss for me, because the illusion, if I leave them alone, they are doing their damage on its own. So like for instance, if I summon them, right, 6 of them, and if I don't do anything, these 6 of them is doing its own thing, like they're attacking right now. But once I do the meteor, everything disappears for like 1 second, and then it crashes down for another second. So I lose like at least 2 seconds of you know, this illusion doing its own thing. So in the end, I found that it's a DPS loss, so I'm not using this one. What I use is this one. Instead, it's the Arcane Ruin. Arcane Ruin does a massive kind of like, I wouldn't say it's massive, I'll show you the number later, but it does some kind of area damage. But the cool thing about it is to restore spirit. So, you know, imagine to summon an illusion is 16 spirit, but to destroy them is it restores, you know, close to 16. So basically, net your spending on this one is quite little. But having said that, but once you exceed 6, of course, it caps at 6 illusion spirit return. So, you know, anything above and beyond is really above and beyond, meaning that you can't recover the kind of like spirit coming through. So I found that you can't really use that to help you to sustain a basic less build. You need something else like a costume core to do that. And in fact, Loki is very, at least to me, is very spirit intensive. Unless you use this basic, and which it is actually not a bad basic to use, because when you use this basic, the summon actually appear on its own as well. So it's pretty cool. Like I can actually show you, like if I use this one, and it hits quite hard as well, then you know the illusion will start coming out on its own, like all this illusion, and that's the thing. So it is an option if you're doing melee build, alright? But I'm not, because in a patrol environment, melee is very hard, so I'm not using it. So that is the summoner build. On the other side, which is the frost side of it, I think one point in this Jotun blood is important because it gives you some kind of health. Do you need to max it? I actually try maxing it. But if you have 2 costumes to swap, meaning the health costume and crit damage rating costume, you probably don't need to max this one. But it's good to invest at least 1 point. The more important thing is that when you strike a chill target, you gain power. So how it works is that you know, how to chill a target. Chilling a target is via permafrost, right? So I think that's the only way. The other way is to actually use the signature to chill the target. So anything with the chill tag to it, that's how it works. So if you look at the buff, right now there's no buff, so I can hit this, and I can go and, you know, hit it. Then it has a countdown to it, so you know when you need to, like, you know, when you need to hit it, when you need to reapply the frost, the permafrost. All right. So this one you need to reapply every 5 seconds in order to keep up with the thing. And then you can actually, after a while, you get used to this timer here, because as soon as it starts to come down, meaning like for instance, let me show you. So I can frost it. I use my winter spreads here, right? So it stays there 5 seconds, the bottom one there. but then after a while it will start to come down right now. So it means that the whole thing expires, the frost, the chill. Now, two things is very important, because one is the chill effect that gives power. Another is actually the vulnerability debuff, because the enemy takes extra 10% of damage. So you need to reapply every 5-6 seconds. In order to do that, you can observe these things here. I know it's very hard in a group environment, but after you practice on a dummy a while, you probably know when to reapply the 5-second debuff, which is on this one. This debuff here, and then after that you can do whatever you need to do normally. All right. So that is what I do. I pick Winter's Breath because Winter's Breath again there's a damage. There's a 50% against chill target, so you need to chill target and gain from it. Winter's Breath is actually lower DPS than this illusionary projection. However, it's very spirit efficient. So excuse me. So you don't need to have, I mean, you know, it's very nice to your spirit pool. It's not taking a lot of your spirit on it. So, you know, you can use 6 of the illusionary projection to get the illusion out, and then after that you can use the Winter Breath. And then Winter Breath has a nice quite a nice range to it as well. So, you know, you can close the distance. It's around this distance here. It is still a little bit too close to the boss when it is in the Cosmic Patrol environment. So that's why the health costume is important. But it is not as close as the fact that you cannot even see what's happening, kind of close to it, all right? So I really like Winter's Breath for that reason. This one need no introduction, is our signature. Now, for Summoner build, the damage rating only benefits certain power, and it's really weird because like this one, it will not benefit at all. And guess what? This power is tagged as area, but it is affected by both damage rating as well as summon damage rating. So it's very weird. I mean, what you can do is you can start taking off gear, and then you can start observing all these numbers here and give you some idea, as in like what gear affect what. So what damage rating affect what. So damage rating, all this damage rating here will only affect, like Winter's Breath is being affected. This one is not. Then, you know, this one is partially, I would say, and this one yes, and this one yes. I mean, you know, basically it's only a few. And then of course all the illusion that are attacking the target, it will not be benefiting from any damage rating buff that you have. So this buff here is very limited to certain things they do. That's why also the reason why I'm using the Winter's Breath as well, because during the signature time, Winter's Breath actually will do, I think it do at least close to, if not better than, the illusionary projection, right? So that is the reason why I like this Winter's Breath so much. Now, initially, maybe before I show you the spreadsheet, why I have to go through it, because I've spent about 20 to 30 retcon devices just to get the right nice build, because Loki is a very old hero design. Unless you have really, really, really good gear, it's going to be very hard to get the best out of to get a very high DPS. I mean, you look at the website, I mean, you look at the forum, they tell you the really high time to kill are those that are having some really nice unit, like the Man Ape for slot 1, Sinisters for slot 2, slot 3 is Doom, slot 4 is Nisanti Proofs from Hood. I mean, good luck in farming all these 4 gear. I have time. If I have that much time, I probably play other heroes as well. But I mean, if you really like Loki that much, I mean, I don't know, man. If I have that kind of gear, I'll give it to Iceman instead of Loki. I don't know. But yeah, so initially I put 10 points in. Okay, so talking about this Master of Sorcery tree, this one is I think it's a must, because Loki is very much spirit intensive. So this one increase the spirit pool and then reduce the spirit cost, increase the power duration. All these are very nice, that, and also the damage rating as well. So this is a passive that you have to get now. But if you think about it, right, very strange when it comes to Loki. You got so many passive. This one is an illusion passive. You have to max it. This one is also, you know, a passive. You have to max it. So you have to max 2 already, and you're maxing the 3rd one. Now, originally I maxed on this one as well, because it is a toggle that gives quite a nice defense stats and quite a nice damage rating as well. So initially I max it, but then I asked myself, okay, so if I max it, okay, let me put back my gear, right, so I can show you some of these numbers. All right. So if I look at this one, it's either rank 20 versus rank I think 39. All right. I could max it, or I could shift my point to something else. Maybe I can layer something on top of all my rotation, because my entire rotation is according to this Arcane rune, the 12 second. My whole rotation is within 12 seconds, because every 12 seconds I reset the whole thing, right? So within this 12 seconds, I make sure I have six illusion from the illusionary projection. I make sure that I will apply the permafrost every 5 seconds to 6 seconds, so around 2 times. All right. I also make sure that I have the excuse me. I'll make sure that, okay, later on I'll talk about arcane binding, but I make sure I have a damage over time on it as well. So this is my 12-second windows, whatever I do, and then in between everything else, I use Winter's Breath to fill up the 12 seconds. So, to me, it's a 12-second window when it comes to this rotation. But then I ask myself, I'm not happy with the DPS, and what else can I do? So I was exploring, should I have this one? Now, the problem with Arcane Binding, by looking at the number, is very, very insignificant. Compare this with any hero that you have. Bring Magneto, bring Iceman, bring anything. This damage over time is pathetic. It's not even 10k with my gear and with all my Omega, everything that go into it. So it's pathetic. But between the two, what should I have? Should I have 20 points here, max out Arcane Shield, and leave the build as it is, which I'm not happy? Or should I, maybe look into ways to layer it on top of it? So I can either do Arcane Binding or do Enthrall, and the 2 DPS is also as pathetic, but Enthrall actually has a longer duration. But the problem with Enthrall is that it has a narrower cone when it comes to the damage. You can try it out in Test Center. It is actually narrower. So for Arcane Binding, you can come to here and you shoot it off, and you can affect like 3 targets here, but you cannot for Enthrall. Enthrall, you have to stand quite near, and you can only affect these small areas here, so it doesn't work for me. However, if you are confident that you can sustain the spirit for the illusionary projection, some people will actually use these 2 as the damage over time layer and forget about the Winter's Breath, because if you can sustain that, there's no need to use Winter's Breath. I do not wish to burn my spirit that way. Then therefore I use one of these, and if I have to choose one, I pick this one. Now, before I go into the spreadsheet and show you how I derive into this Arcane Binding, maybe I'll just show you some gear first, in case some of you may not be interested in look at spreadsheet. So at least I cover the gear fast. Sorry, it's taking a bit while. Okay, when it comes to the gear, I learned from Iceman. I have 2 artifacts for this pet and 2 artifacts for hero, because I find that investing everything into the pet actually limit my growth in terms of the hero, because there's a split between the hero damage output and the pet damage output, and you have to balance between the 2. So what I do is that I have 2 of this pet. Standard for pets, you have this alternative reality chaos portal that is from the event vendor, and then you have the Raptor egg. If you don't have the Raptor egg, you can replace it with something else. I think there's another artifact as well, close enough. It doesn't really matter. Either one of them is fine, but this one has a little bit more effects to it. So this 2 is Frigga, because these are pet artifact in case there's a better summoner elsewhere. You want to unbound the artifact, recover it, you can do that. The other 2, I actually choose one for Loki. So Metasensory is one that I've picked. I actually picked this one first, and because I put the cube in it, if you see the +1 rank to the signature, I could have used the other one, which is Agamotto, which is for mental damage output. It has a little bit more defense stat to it, and it has same thing, +1 to all power. But in the end, because I've already put a cube inside, I just leave with it. Doesn't matter to me. This one is wonderful for summoner, because as you deal certain power, you gain the flat damage, which is great, and then the intelligence is a key stat for any pet hero, summoner. So because intelligence will give the summon NR damage, translate to summon NR damage, a bit of crit damage and stuff like that. You can take a look at the screen here to show you what kind of stats you get buffed up. So I like this one a lot for all my summoners, and I would recommend if you can get your hands into any Omega Drive. All right. For Medallion, I know people love to use the the Sinister. And I would say, yeah, I mean, you know, you could think about using Sinister as well, because Sinister will give you, I mean, this one will only give you about, Man Ape give you about, maybe max is 20% summon ally damage, Sinister give you 30. The only reason why I picked this one is for the crit and brutal as well, because I found that my crit is not hitting 50, and you know, with this is actually closer, and my brutal is also quite poor as well, because you know, with only these two as Hela, my brutal is only 37.2% without this one. So so to me, I picked something for a hero as well. But if you like to try, I mean, you can try both and see which one works better for you. It is really dependent on all the stats you have. All right. Legendary is going to be Trident for all pets. Rune work, I put Beastmaster. You can put Dupe Inspiration as well. It doesn't really matter. I think it matters a bit. I mean, you can get a little bit better, but it's not as though it is an Iceman kind of caliber that I say, okay, I will put all my best stuff there. I mean, you know, I think it's, I mean, Beastmaster is alright. I mean, you know, I think it's pretty good as well. Okay, in terms of gear, okay, this is interesting to talk about. I happens to have 2 sphere of the white gorilla tribe, so I just put one for him. His slot one is not for summoner. You can take a look at that. I think it's more for the sorcery tree. All right. This one has a very nice summon ally damage as you hit with any power, and it's +2 to all powers to apply to the other tree, summoner tree as well. So it is a pretty good unique. But farming this is going to be very hard. I got it just by good fortune. So I would not. I mean, if you really do summoner for Loki, yeah, I mean, you know, you should grab one of this. If not, if you don't have this, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can use just his unique to start with, and I mean, his unique does have some kind of quite a nice mental damage as well to it. So all in all, it's not the end of the world if you don't have it, but it's good that you have. All right. Then this one, the second one, I use this one. If you have Sinister, use Sinister, but then you lose out 2.5k of health, so it's up to you, because 2.5k, I mean, if you do Cosmic Patrol, you drop your health by 2.5k is a lot, then plus durability as well, so this is quite nice. And then because I use Winter's Breath, this one +7 ranks to all Son of, or +6 actually, to all the first 3 is kind of nice, alright? Then I use Arcane Shield as well, so it's nice, I like it. Although it doesn't really do much for Arcane Shield, as you know better, as you know later, right? For the slot 3, you can use his unique, which is fine, or you can use, I mean, this one is very common, so you can, because this one, if you get a high rolling, you may get up to 25% summon ally damage, and it's great. And the one thing I love is the health to it, the spirit to it, the unaware target to it, +2 to all power. So this one, when I do my DPS metering, is actually better than his unique, and this one is very easily available, so I'll just use this one. But if you manage to farm Doom until you get his Doom unique, then yeah, use that too. But like I said, it's going to be very hard to get all these things. The apples of Idun, again, a big chunk of health, and the good thing about this is the revive. It has 10-minute cooldown, but when it comes to Cosmic Patrol, when you die the first time, you get more cautious, and it's good to have that kind of like you know, options as well. Now, of course, you can get the Nizanti boots from Hood. That one is equally great because of the unaware. I think yeah. Let me see what it looks like. Let me show you. It looks like this one. So it has, well, actually it has a big chunk of health as well. Excuse me. Actually, this one is also very good. If you have Nishanti boots, grab it. I mean, it's good. You have crit, brutal as well. You know, spirit, health. Yeah, you know. If you have a spare one, use it. I don't have a spare one, so I use what I have. All right. And the Crowns of Lies, I think, is pretty alright for summoner. All right. In terms of pets wise, I mean, you know, base health, spirit is the same. I managed to get the +4 summon ally damage. Yes, and I'm still trying to get my +1 rank to all power. Once I get it, I'm happy. And I only have 2 pets in my inventory. One is for summoner, one is for non-summoner over there. All right. So once I get that, I forget everything about leveling pet, which is totally a pain. All right. So in terms of costume, crit damage rating, get a core that regenerates 20% of your health, and then if you can, prestige your hero and get a second costume, and then you can have the health as well, which is wonderful, because then you can have One for health, one for crit damage rating, for you to swap around. When you come to patrol, use the health one. Your DPS dip around 10%, 12%, but that's alright. Take a few more seconds to kill, but at least you can survive the spear from the man-ape like you have seen. Alright? So when it comes to Team Exenia, always Nick Fury for any summoners, alright? Because it gives you the summon damage as well as the +1 intelligence. The rest of it, anything goes. I pick area because my Winter Breath is area, my unyielding power is area, and this one is area. So except the one that is by summon, everything is area anyway. So this one is perfect for me. It could have been nice if that was crit damage rating, but then after that, I mean, after all, the crit will go to pet as well, so that's fine. All right. So okay. So the next one is Omega System. I don't put in the spin tag because the damage rating does not affect the pet. So yeah. So that's the thing. Now, as you know, now moving forward, I invest some point into the defense stat because I want to be able to do patrol, cosmic patrol in more confidently. And all in all, I spent about 512 points into this kind of affixes. But I mean, I think it's good. 3 points here, 6 points here. Give me a bit of health, a little bit of regen, right? Then 13 points on Shadow King because summon ally damage is there. As in why all these funny numbers, I've got another video on how I mathematically assign all these things. Then after that, merge and process is great, but don't put too many on it because it costs a lot. You don't need health, you just need damage. This one is great stuff. When you hit your summon ally, actually get damage, crit chance, and brutal chance. So it's great, get rabbit. But the more important thing is Overmind's power because +6 intelligence. All right. And then after that, you can grab a +5 here as well. All right. That's intelligence plus the summon ally damage. Anything more than 5 too expensive for me. I'm having a 20% cost effectiveness. I picked this one as well because my brutal strike is pretty low for Loki. I want to open up the brutal possibility there. And this one is also for brutal strike. Need no introduction. That one is skill suppression. And then I put a little bit on the mental attack. These are remaining point because I spent all my 7,500, and after that I said, oh, what else to put in? And I said, okay, whatever remaining point, get some crit to my mental power. So why not, right? So that, but it's not something that you should think about too much. This one is a very cheap, relatively cheap note to get. So get all 20 points there. And the last one is the +9 fighting. This one is great because the brutal will go into the pet as well. So and then your hero wanted a little bit strong as well. So plus fighting is good. It increase the base damage and 25 on block and give me quite a nice chunk of health. And this note has no cost escalation. I just dump everything inside. But I mean, up to you whether you think it's worth it to put aside 512 points on just the defense stat. All right. So that is all I want to talk about in terms of the screen and so on and so forth. I'm now going to the spreadsheet that some of you may or may not want to stick on. I understand. So before you log out, I just would like to thank you all for watching this video, and also interestingly, I would like to talk about the one of the comedy TV series called The Almighty Johnsons. You can get it from Netflix or Hulu, can't remember. It's about the Norse god, like Loki, Thor, whatever, that is living somewhere in New Zealand, and in order to find their way back to Asgard, they have to fulfill the quest of Odin finding his wife Frigg in New Zealand. So it's hilarious. 3 seasons of it. I love everything Singapore in it. And also one of the reasons why I want to do Loki, because I saw I got just so hyped up and with the whole Norse god kind of thing. Alright, so yeah, for those who are staying on for the mathematics, here is the stuff that I would like to show you. So okay, I always get very excited when I come to the maths point of view. So I want to, just to recap, I want to see what is the trade-off like when I talk about the shield, the Arcane shield at rank 39 versus say the rank 20. So the first thing I need to do is that for each power that I use, I need to digest what exactly do they do. So I want to identify where are the problem areas, right? So the first thing I do is that I look at Winter's Breath. I just take the max output without all the props and so on. So this calculation remove all the props and proc and all the buff and whatnot. It's all right because you're comparing power to power. It doesn't matter whether some gets scaled up on on one scenario or not, we just hold that constant. All right. So at the max, it created like 47k twice per second kind of like. So this pretty good stuff going on, and I look at the spirit cost per second as well, and I can work out a DPS. The DPS is just about the twice per second, right? So it is 47k times 2 is my damage per second, and I work out the damage per spirit as well because I want to know each spirit how much it get converted into damage, and that is where I can compare between the power and say, oh yeah, that burned a lot of my spirit, and that is why, right? So two key indicator for me. One is DPS, the other one is what's the damage per spirit span. All right. Then the next one is the illusionary projection. It's a little bit hard to model, but how it really works is that each illusion does a certain kind of damage, like 25k, and I actually use a stopwatch to count how fast they hit as well. So per illusion 25k, and the how to calculate the total cumulative damage, like I mentioned before, right? The first hit is only one illusion, but the second hit will be 2 illusions and third illusion. So it's cumulatively. Once you get to 6 of them, which you stop, I will stop from there because I want to do something that is more spirit efficient. Once I get to 6, I stop. And in total, what do I get from it is this 530,000 is what I get. And then I look at the total spirit cost when I do like when I do 6 of them, how much I will cost in terms of spirit. I use a stopwatch and time, like what's the time less like. So I realized that in order to summon 6 of them, it costs me 5.4 seconds. All right, roughly around there. And I look at the spirit cost per second and so on. So it worked out DPS to be 98,000. All right, with the toggle on. Actually, on and off doesn't make a difference. And then work out the damage per spirit. Now, what it really tells you, there's a story here, right, guys? I mean, the story here, forget about this toggle off, right? The story here is that the illusionary projection at 6 of them is actually comparatively to Winter's Breath. So it get a little bit better, by a certain little percentage. But then look at the spirit cost, right? You actually cost double the spirit. So you burn spirit double, but your DPS is not double, right? So that is the story that you should take home with. Of course, when it comes to more illusions, so for instance, if you do 8 times is how you calculate 8 times. It's actually 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 and then 6 and 6 because you can't go beyond 6, right? So if you want to do 8 times instead of 6 times, your DPS of course increase, but of course your damage per spirit also be a little bit more efficient as well. But I mean, all in all, the bottom line is that if you can spam illusionary projection, yes, you will have a much better damage output. You can I think just look at these 2 numbers, right? You can see that immediately there's a very big difference there. But then you have to be able to sustain the kind of spirit. That's the end story, all right? That's the story that I take home with, all right? Then the next one is Arcane Rune. Arcane Rune is something that you can destroy all 6 illusions and get a certain damage out from it. So destroying all 6 of them is about 817k. And but there's a cooldown to it. So what it means that you can only do it every 12 seconds. To me, that's how I derive the DPS. Is this one divided by this one equals to a DPS. So that the DPS but this one is on top of what you have. So it's being layered on top. So it is not like a trade-off. Like, should I do this or should I do that? This is being added on top of it, right? So the next thing we'd like to talk about is the signature. Signature has a damage per second component to it, all right? And then after that, it lasts for a certain duration. Forget about duration gear right now. Just say that 10 seconds is what is on the tooltip, but there's a cooldown for 1 minute. So there's a total of 1.6 million damage if you don't crit, whatever it is. But then because of the long cooldown, the DPS actually is shorter. But that again is layered on top of whatever you have. So it's not like a trade-off again. So this is layered on top. But of course, when it comes to damage per spirit, is high. It's like a free kind of like damage that's thrown at your face, right? So that's one. And then after that, look into the illusion itself. Now this is very interesting. This one is each illusion does its own damage as well. So you think about this is another layer on top of whatever you have, because all the illusion being summoned, they are doing damage as well. All right. And then after that, you look at permafrost. I only have one point to it. The DPS is very low and the spirit is actually cost very high. This is just for me to buff so that the rest of the damage I can get 10%. That's all it is, and get power, which is like a damage boost to it. All right. So after that, I talk about this 12-second arcane rotation that I have. So within 12 seconds, I know exactly what I have, right? I have the illusion that is doing on its own for 12 seconds. I will have to do 2 times the perma spike. I have 6 illusion out there, means I do 6 illusionary projection. Then after that, what is left is the 5 seconds of Winter's Breath, because in between I used Winter's Breath, right? And then unyielding power being prorated, because because the signature only lasts 10 seconds, but you just prorate it across the session damage that you gain within the 12 seconds being prorated, and the total damage is about this much, and give you the total damage around within 12 seconds without creep, without anything, without buff, just the basic number, and there's certain DPS to it. So I do that, and then I toggle off, and I check all my numbers again and give me a second number, right? And then I extrapolate when I have a rank 20 Arcane Shield with 783 damage rating, okay? And I worked out what my extrapolated damage would be, and then I do a different, okay, what's the difference between rank 39 and 20? This is different? In fact, 1%. Okay, so by putting 19 extra points to it, I gain 1% of damage. So I asked myself, maybe I should do a damage over time, because why invest so much on it? So it's totally inefficient, right? So I shift the point to Arcane Binding, which is this one, and I work out, towards the end, the damage very little, but at least I add another 11% on top of whatever I have. So my damage, after I've done the model, increased by 10-11%. Now, if I haven't done this one, I would have probably stick with the Arcane Shield max level, live with the 1296 damage rating, because it sounds good. But in fact, if you do a calculation, you realize that you're losing 1%, yes, but you're actually gaining close to 11%. So what do you do, right? Yeah. If it's a lot to digest, my apologies, but I thought I would like to really share another side of me, while sometimes I have to do a lot of number crunching to get some of this build to work. And well, again, thanks for watching. If any question, whatnot, just drop me a note and so on. All right, see you later. Bye.